yeah, like I kid you not, from one day to the other, I literally X'd out all my real estate clients and I stopped working. So if we circle back to 2022, the crypto bull run had just ended and I didn't really know what I was gonna do. I had all this free time on my hand. And I was 24 at the time, so I had invested in real estate in my early 20s. And I'm like, yo, let me try this real estate thing. It's kind of bumping, houses are going up. Let me try to get some clients and just help people. So I did my courses. It took maybe 6 months. It was a very good investment. And that's when I started my career in mid 2023. Few months after that, some friends started hitting me up, the low-hanging fruit, if I could say. They're very, very good clients, but you still gotta take them, the easy ones. So made my first transaction maybe 2 or 3 months after starting, and at the time I was so hyped because just getting a wire deposit to your bank of $5,000 or $10,000 is something I've never experienced. So obviously I got addicted, I got hyped, and as any 25, 26-year-old ready to take over the world, I was just super excited to start my real estate journey. So you see, as any 25, 26-year-old just ready to take over, I set myself an immense goal that I didn't reach. I actually failed so many times. I wanted to make $200,000 or $300,000 that year as my second year as a realtor. And that's where it all hit me. In 2024, I would say it was my first full year of being as a full-time realtor. Made 10 transactions the first year. I think the national average was like 5, so I was pretty hyped about that. And that's when in 2025, I set myself up for failure without even knowing. I wrote all my goals on that beautiful little whiteboard like all of us entrepreneurs do. And I just started calling clients, doing the door knocking, just going really hard at it, 12 hours a day. Lots of times, I was sacrificing my nights, sacrificing, outings with friends, not having time with my girlfriend. So I was just working, doing the calls, doing the door knockings, trying different things, sending out flyers, just putting signs everywhere, just, hollering at people, if I could say. And, so it was definitely some merit into that because I learned a lot and my methods of working were much better. So that was a satisfying part, but I literally got lost in the sauce, if I could say. My whole identity as a person and as a broker literally changed that year because I started identifying myself in new ways. So, because I was constantly chasing people, running after people, I was always the first one starting conversation and kind of always wanted something out of people because it's the nature of my job. You need to get a listing or a buyer to get paid. Just my perspective around the job and my identity and my core values were slowly shifting, if I could say. And, I could feel the frustration growing, but it was still in the back of my head because my vision was still blurry and I was focused on money and transactions and all of that. And then by mid-year of 2024, that's where I understood, where it actually came to the front of my mind, that my core values are worth way more than money. And for me to actually feed myself and get paid and earn a living for myself, I don't want to be perceived, for myself, not even for others, I don't want to be perceived as the person that chases around people, bothers people, messages people constantly, emails people, and just bothers people to get something out of them, like a listing or a buyer appointment or whatever. And this was actually super draining, frustrating, and it was like just taking over my whole body because I don't want to be that person that nags around just to get paid. It's not a satisfying feeling. So as the months went by, I was working less and less, and I was reflecting more and more on who I was, what I was doing. Do I really want this? And that's when I understood that I want to do something that I'm passionate about. I don't want to lose my head and possibly make $20,000 off of one shot in one transaction. But I'd rather just do something I love and just get paid, even if it's in smaller amounts, but it would be something more consistent and it would be more like a long-term play. So June 2024, I think that was my calling to stop real estate because I had an accepted offer on a huge building. I think the payout was around $15,000. And I was really pumped for that because I worked very hard to find this deal, to get the accepted offer, etc. And that's when at the last second the client just changed the conditions and the deal just fell through. And I'm like, yo, this doesn't make sense. Everything that I do doesn't work. I'm constantly working for free, providing all this value, and just clients don't respect me. They never answer the phone. I'm constantly chasing them. Like, I can't take this shit anymore. And I literally X'd out everything, closed all my systems, all my portals, removed my CRMs, everything, and I took a 2-month break. And during that break, it was so relieving to not call people every day, nag around, just chase people, and just constantly, being downplayed by other people because it's obvious that I want something from them. Just that feeling naturally started to go away, and my mind kind of started to open up slowly and slowly. And that's when I started to question myself: who am I? What do I want? What do I want out of this life? And most importantly, how do I plan to help people in this world? And this is the crossroad between real estate and Bittensor, because I have a good knowledge in crypto and I always had this burning desire to understand Bittensor on a deeper level, understand what do miners do, how do people make money, because there are some people who make serious bank while mining on Bittensor, probably thousands per day. So slowly during my break, I started researching, started with the simple things like what is Bittensor, what does it serve, how does it help people, just the important questions, the same ones I basically ran with Bitcoin back in the days. And, I just felt every day I was doing more research and not focusing on real estate, this burning sensation and desire to just learn more and more about the network. And it got to a point where I was learning so much every day that I felt my whole brain rewiring, and I felt like I was kind of gaining my focus back. I was able to like just zone out and read articles the whole day and just learn about so many cool concepts surrounding that network. And just the satisfaction about me being able to research and learn new things every day was I was creating new pathways into my brain, and I just felt that satisfaction every day when I was going to bed. And this is when I decided, like, yo, I need to learn what miners do, probably make some money out of Bittensor mining, because I don't have any income right now. Let me do some research and try to make some money out of this network. And that's where I stumbled upon Subnet 93, which is Bitcast. And it was the sole reason why I created this channel, because as a miner on Bitcast, you can actually make YouTube videos, and you're scored based off your number of views, your viewer retention, and what you speak about. And then you can earn Bittensor emissions on it, and you can earn alpha tokens or either convert them to Tau tokens. And this was a super huge motivation for me to start this YouTube channel. And to be frank with you guys, I would have never thought about starting a YouTube channel if it wasn't for, mining on Bittensor. And I just feel it's super fascinating. And it's actually crazy that a simple incentive mechanism and a network, an AI network, pushed me to learn new things. I subscribed to a 65-hour Python course. I'm waking up at 4 a.m. every day feeling energized and ready to, attack the day and learn new things. And I'm actually feeling as if I'm strengthening my brain every day because I'm learning so much about AI and just this network in general, which is a great feeling. And every day as I'm waking up, I'm kind of throwing out the frustration that I had accumulated with real estate. This is not to knock on realtors or, real estate brokerage in general. It's just that I think my path and, my calling, whereas in before I always saw myself as this active jock that needs to do sport all the time and needs to run and computers and just coding is for geeks. But I actually think AI is the future, and that my pivot, the timing was perfect. It was super strategic, and it just allowed me to like relax and not care about real estate for a minute and just change my whole identity and not be, that guy that constantly chases around people, but rather I rather just live my life, follow my passion, and I attract the people who I attract. Just think about it for a second. Incentives are everywhere in your daily life. Why do you open up the fridge on a simple basis, as an example? Because you're hungry, you want to eat, you want to fuel up. Why are you reproducing? It's to create a family, to have a lineage, to leave something out. Why are you working? To leave a legacy, to build your name, to do something productive. And that's why I think the Bittensor network is so valuable, is because it's just a group of people, people resembling together and just working on AI in the most efficient way possible and developing AI models, which is actually the next narrative into this upcoming decade. Maybe I don't know what I don't know. For those of you who have seen, the Dunning-Kruger chart, or I don't know what it's called exactly, but it's basically a chart representing what you don't know, and it is a possibility. I've embarked myself into a journey where there's so many possible outcomes that I do something completely different. But for me, my goals are super simple. I just want to be a profitable Bittensor miner, grow my YouTube channel, and just eventually become a full stack AI web developer. So, I think that's gonna wrap it up. It was a different kind of video, but if I could give you one piece of advice, is sometimes when you're really not feeling it, just take a long break, go on a trip, zone out from what you're doing, and just focus on yourself, ask the proper questions for yourself, and just focus on diminishing your overall stress if what you're feeling is not the right thing. And just don't be scared to freaking pivot. Don't listen to others. Nobody knows your story and your journey or whatever. And just don't be scared to make big changes like I did. I was a realtor and I'm pivoting into something I have no idea what it is. But I think generally that is what makes life fun. That is what keeps my spark going. I'd rather have this type of life and not knowing my outcome in the next few months than just having a boring, predictable life for the next 30 years. So, hope you enjoyed it. That's my story. That's my journey. Looking forward to dropping a lot of value on this channel. And if you have any questions or comments, just comment down below. I have a lot of video ideas coming up, so subscribe to the channel and I'll see you in the next one.